Hello and welcome to Read. Today we are talking about analog doom scrolling, and I am recommending analog doom scrolling as a substitute for digital doom scrolling. And the way that we are going to accomplish this analog doom scrolling is with the glorious invention of books. I guess an alternate title for this video was In Praise of Dictionaries, because I'll be spending quite a bit of time talking about dictionaries. But yeah, basically this is going to be a limited bookshelf tour, because I have this bookshelf here right next to my table and next to the reading chair, and recently it has served to really scratch the mindless scrolling itch that is usually scratched by being online. And I'll just quickly talk about why I chose to have the books here that I have here. Basically, we have biographies and letters here, we have dictionaries and some art books here, and then up top, which you can't see but I'll pull down some examples, we pretty much just have more art books and a couple of unique or novelty works. The philosophy behind these books is, unless you're kind of mental, these are not books that are meant to be read start to finish. And the power of this is that you can just grab a book off the shelf, read, effectively open to a random page, read, and get a dopamine hit. But instead of like rage bait, cancerous content, it's the wonderful world of knowledge and literature. And so actually I'll start here, because I'll say that the easiest way to accomplish this really is with dictionaries. So first up, we've got our old friend, the Collins English Thesaurus. And what more could you want with your time than to open up to a random page of the Collins Dictionary and learn that some synonyms for nutritious are nourishing, beneficial, wholesome, healthful, health-giving, nutritive. Nutritive. Would I ever use nutritive? Nutritive. Nutritious. Nutritive. That's kind of nice to know. What about some synonyms for speculative? We've got hypothetical, academic, theoretical, abstract, tentative, notional, conjectural, suppositional. Oh man, we are absolutely cooking. Are you kidding me? Now, I know what you might be saying. Dude, the dictionary is boring. But instead, what you need to realize is that there are dictionaries for things other than just the language. There are dictionaries for things like literary terms and literary theory. So, open up to a random page. What is egofuturism? A jargon term coined by the Russian poet Igor Severyanin to describe a movement in early 20th century Russian poetry. The ego-futurists were anti-traditionalists and wrote highly personal verse in which they went in for neologisms. QV. The movement did not last long. Oh, damn, sorry, ego-futurism, but the plus side with this dictionary is that it has a little QV next to the word neologisms, which means that neologisms is also a word. So we're moseying. I'm activating full monkey brain. We're not even thinking about this. Let's just scroll to the next thing. Neologism. A newly coined word, sometimes a phrase. Neologisms are entering language all the time and are a necessary, invigorating influence. And this is actually quite a long journal entry, and I don't have the attention span to read the whole thing, so let's move on to protreptic. A kind of discourse designed to persuade or hortate, not usually in classical literature. Aristotle wrote one called proteptikos. Proteptikos. Okay. Well, if you ever want to write a kind of discourse designed to persuade or hortate, just know that what you are doing is writing a protreptic. Oh, this is a cool one. My eyes have just floated to the top of the page. Prothalamion. Prothalamion. A term invented by Spencer with analogy to epithalamion for his poem in celebration of the double wedding of Lady Elizabeth and the Lady Catherine Somerset. It thus means a spousal verse or something written before the bridal chamber. So, popped into my mind because I realized that my brother has been writing a story that is sort of taking place right before a wedding, and so I've just realized he is writing a prothalamion. Dude, are you kidding me? Alright, I'm getting bored already, so we're going to move on to the Oxford Dictionary of religions. I love how this video has essentially warped into just watch me doom scroll for an hour. We've got Madhu, which is Sanskrit for honey, and it is the favorite drink of Hindu warriors. It features in Madhuvidya, honey knowledge, and thus on ritual occasions. Madhu, it's Sanskrit for honey. Let's move on to, we've got a whole journal entry for Sunday. Oh, okay, nice. This is one that looks cool. Suluk, which is Arabic for journey. Among the Sufis, it is the mystic's process on the way to God. It is the deliberate quest beginning with one's initiation into a Sufi order, followed under the guidance of a shaykh by the methodical purification of the self through stages or stations. The Sufi orders have their own individual programs or of stations for the salik, the one who pursues the journey. So the suluk is the journey and the salik is the one who is doing the journey. The more you learn. Oxford Dictionary. Now also what I have, because sometimes you just need to look at some pictures, I've got this, Birds of a Feather, which is just some compilations of, well, what are we talking about now? We're talking about the crane. Not bad. Cranes have captured the imaginations of people from time immemorial, and the sight of a sedge of cranes, I guess sedge is a plural of cranes, moving effortlessly through the skies on its way to or from lands unknown seems to epitomize the mysteries of life. And let's read a Chinese poem by Liu Xiang. I hear the black cranes crying in the morning on the towering summits of the lofty mountains, alone with my growing anger, by turns glad and grieving. I hover through the islets, singing softly. Ooh, lovely poem. And then if you want, you can just look at some pictures. What is going on here? We're looking at the chicken by a Dutch painter. Doom scrolling my life away. Magpie. Ooh, magpie on Chinese enamel. Look at that bad boy. And you get a little bit of there's also a section at the start that talks about mythic birds. So we got the sirens. And is there any extract or... Oh! The siren, which is a similar sort of thing, often appears in popular Russian prints with something like this. She sings sweetly, and no man of this world can hear her song, for when he hears it, he forgets himself and dies. So this is a Russian siren, not a siren. And then, if you're feeling like going absolutely balls to the wall, you might want to look at something like a dictionary of the Hermetic Museum of Alchemy and Mysticism. Just like, oh, dude, look what I've opened up to. Aurora? Are you kidding me? Oh my lord. Talk about Akashic records just sitting on your bookshelf. Jesus. Animal riddles and Oedipus Chimicus. It's all there waiting for you, and you can just get completely lost. You can procrastinate from all the things that you need to do, and dictionaries are sitting there waiting for you. I've got one more thing, just because it's sort of the only thing I've left, is this 3 manga collection of the works from Hokusai. So I'm feeling the wonders of nature. Let's look up and you can just delight in some 18th century ukiyo-e prints. Look at that. Gosh, who even needs a phone? Like, what are you doing? What are you even doing here, dude? Like, come on, just go and just set up your library so that you have an analog doom scrolling shelf, preferably near your bedside table. Maybe I want to go even deeper with my art. Well, damn, look what I got here. If it ain't the complete illuminated books of William Blake. I'm not going to read these poems because this shit ain't legible, but dramatic much? Are you kidding me? What's this? That's Europe, a prophecy. Well, I guess he's prophesizing about Europe, so it's probably a pretty big deal. Book of Milton, and I really want to believe, is that meant to be Milton? Wow, God, what a weirdo. William Blake's such a weirdo. But I love it. I love him so much. I mean, just get a load of this. You can. Was it in the Hannibal series where the guy had the red dragon tattoo on his back? If William Blake is not exactly the right flavor of intense for me, then maybe I'll spend some time with Gustave Doré. Gustave Doré. And the nice thing about this is that he wrote about so many different works that it's like, you know what, maybe it is finally time that I just get around to reading The Rime of the Ancient Mariner so that I actually know what he's talking about. Maybe it is finally time that I reread The Raven, not, after having read it several years ago and not understanding a single thing about it. Get some Gustave Doré work into your life. And the last thing that I'm going to recommend, so mostly up there is just some poetry collections, and I didn't really have a lot of poems up there because actually in the distance, this entire shelf here on the bookshelf is poetry. So closer to the end of the year, I will do a complete bookshelf tour. But one of the things I also want to recommend that people don't realize are almost covert dictionaries are biographies and letters, specifically if you use the index. So, for example, Duke Ellington, The Life of Duke Ellington, classic jazz musician. I'm curious, did Duke Ellington ever come across or cross paths with, Thelonious Monk? So, let's go to the index. I've got M for Monk. Monk Thelonious. Alright, we got 281 to 282. I don't have a good feeling about this. There's not a lot of Monk. Oh, okay, here we go. So, to his fellow musicians, he remained a giant, and the younger generation held him in the same regard as did his contemporaries. Thelonious Monk plays the music of Duke Ellington, a 1955 album devoted to the avant-garde pianist's splintery, not quite clumsy recastings of such familiar songs as Mood Indigo and Sophisticated Lady, shows how well the boppers appreciated Ellington's innovations, just as his own New Roll Piano Blues, recorded with Max Roach in 1950, had shown how his angular dissonances prefigured those of Monk. Angular dissonances. Well, Monk's a pretty dissonant guy. But that's nice to know. You don't realize that biographies are actually covert dictionaries. What about Sylvia Beach? These are the letters of Sylvia Beach, who, of course, started Shakespeare and Company. Okay, well, we got Shakespeare and Company. We got Shakespeare William as favourite author of Sylvia Beach. That's page 187. And this is a letter to Adrienne Monnier, where she says, Dear Adrienne, you do me the honour of asking me to say a word about which English writers I like. Is this a struggle? First, it's no longer a secret that my favourites are my associate Bill Shakespeare, William Blake, who we've seen today already, and James Joyce, of course. And also I like De Quincey and Melville. Well, I've got a Melville biography here, I've got a James Joyce biography here. Absolutely based Sylvia Beach, are you kidding me? She goes on to talk about some more artists, of course. But yeah, if you guys, again, I want to just emphasize, if you don't know Sylvia Beach, please do check that out. We've got the letters and pictures from Arnold Schoenberg to Vasily Kandinsky. And of course we can check out the index, but also, you know what, I'm in a picture looking out mood. So what do we find here? Oh, we have Arnold Schoenberg's sketch for his musical drama. So this is an artwork by Schoenberg. Look at that. And then, of course, we have some of Kandinsky's classic watercolors in here. Now, I've skimmed through this, and it is really quite incredible how much both of these two fanboyed over each other. Over here in the letters of Gustave Flaubert, one thing that I like is that there's a meme that's going around, or that went around, which was like this recreation of what it was like when Beethoven's Fifth Symphony dropped, and this guy is just like celebrating in a car and he's got this wig on and everything, and that literally happens in this book with Les Mis. It's just like Les Mis just dropped and it's the biggest deal. So as you can see, it is very easy to just burn 15 minutes of your life by analog doom scrolling through the wonderful world of books, specifically dictionaries, art books, biographies, and letters. If you haven't set up your own analog doom scrolling shelf, then please do. And if you have set it up, then please let me know what you use for your analog doom scrolling. Are you more into doom scrolling with poetry, or is there some other thing that you use? But anyway, thank you for wasting time with me. I know that you've kind of digitally doom scrolled me analog doom scrolling, which is a bit weird, but like go on and do your own analog doom scrolling, that's perfectly fine. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.